All right, guys, you're watching This Week in MLS, provided by Target.
And who's your favorite host, Giles?
Sorry, Kaylin, it's gotta be Susanna.
Oh, Giles. Sorry, Kaylin.
What a guy.
What a guy.
What a guy.
What a guy. We love you, Giles. Speaking of Giles, we're gonna get right to our twin takeaways right now because I saw Giles down in Atlanta.
Great episode.
I was there for the big game between Atlanta United and Orlando City. 70,000 plus people in Mercedes-Benz Stadium, Kaylin.
Yeah.
I know you had just been there the week before. That place is unbelievable.
They can't stop scoring goals.
And they can't stop scoring goals. It's so funny. I saw Darren Eales before the game, and we were chatting, and he was like, I hope we didn't use up all our goals. And I was like, I wouldn't worry about it, sir, because you know why?
How does he feel about you mocking his
why?
accent? Do you think he feels okay about that?
I think he feels great about it, because that was a good accent.
You've just been hanging out with Darren, Giles. Like, you're basically British at this point.
And who else? Josef Martinez.
Ooh.
Josef Martinez with his second consecutive hat trick, 3 goals in this one. He's got 7 goals in his last 3 games, 16 goals on the season, and he has only played in 14 games.
I think 1,000 minutes.
Just want to put that out there.
Yeah.
So can you imagine how many goals he might have scored had he been healthy this whole, like 1 million, right? What if this game was so much fun. Again, 70,000 plus people, and it was just, you know, goal, 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 goal. So you got to give some credit to Orlando City here because they kind of played a little bit of a spoiler. This could have been, you know, just off the charts for Atlanta. But, you know, 2 goals for Dom Dwyer. He gets his first goal for his new club, so well done for him. But this was just so exciting. So great to see what they have done in Atlanta, the team that they're building. The fans were going bananas. They love this team. Yeah. This is so great.
If you want to hang with Atlanta United on the road, you better score some goals. And Orlando, give them credit. Yeah. Dom Dwyer and Kyle Aaron, of course, gets a couple goals to keep them in this one. But this team has come out the gate at Mercedes-Benz flying.
And they're using all that momentum, all the energy that they have. I think this is going to be a fun team to watch come the postseason.
To the playoffs.
Also, I want to give some love to Resurgence, one of the fan groups for Atlanta United. They let me up on the capo stand, and as soon as I got up there, they scored their first goal. So then they were like, Susanna, you're our good luck charm. But they were so great. You guys love you. Thank you for being so welcoming.
I'm not buying that. The chances of Atlanta United scoring a goal at any moment is pretty high.
Are you saying I had nothing to do with it?
Speaking of goal scorers, my takeaway is Diego Valeri. Congratulations, Diego. Now the all-time leader in most consecutive games played with a goal at 8. He's done it against everybody. I've gone through the list dating back to July.
Look at you.
Let's see.
Are you on the MLS app right now?
NYCFC. The Sounders, of course. That's right, the Sounders. Red Bulls. Toronto FC, the Galaxy, everybody's scoring against them. Sorry. And LAFC probably too. I don't know. He's unstoppable.
He's incredible.
Congratulations
MVP?
to Diego.
See your MVP?
I think I actually think there's a really good case for Diego. Particularly since Adi's been out, he's been having to lift the load. Nobody's really talking about the fact that they're doing it without their main goal scorer up front. You need a guy to step up. Diego's done that. Right now, I would put him in pole position for that award, although, of course, David Villa has something to say. This injury late, I think it could come down to the wire for these two.
It absolutely could. We shall see.
Yes.
We shall see. All right, so let's get talking about some playoff pictures, shall we? Let's take it out east. The Chicago Fire beat DC 3-0. They kind of have a steady grip on that 3rd place in the Eastern Conference standings. So we know that home field advantage is huge in the playoffs, right? But Chicago is 11-2-2 at home. They are 3-7-4 on the road. So I feel like if Chicago can lock up home field advantage in the playoffs, it's a bigger deal for them than some of the other teams. I don't know. Your thoughts, Kaylin?
Well, I actually don't think home field advantage is that big of a deal in MLS Cup playoffs. I think it only really favors the higher seed when you go to extra time, as Toronto FC did last year against Montreal, but I don't think it really favors them in a huge way. You only have to go on the road and get a result. And they've done that 3 times this year, 3 wins, all against Eastern Conference opponents, all against teams outside of the playoffs right now.
Yes.
But I think, they've made Toyota Park a fortress, and they went through a little bit of a dip in form and now have found footing looking forward towards the playoff, which is the most important thing. But the big thing for them is to avoid that first round game, and I think they're in a good spot for that.
Yep, absolutely. Okay, so another team that got a big point this week was the Crew. They went into Vancouver. They get the 2-2 draw. This one was a fun one. We had two guys scoring against their former teams, Kakuta Mane and Tony Chani. Did you see the kind of muted celebrations too?
Yeah.
I like this. It's like, let's show a little
Oh, really?
respect
I thought they
here.
were actually just stunting because they just like banged goals and they just felt good about themselves.
Well, maybe they did.
Well,
I don't know.
smashed his.
But like I said, they split the points. Vancouver now in first place in the West. Just saying. Just saying. Columbus though. If you think about it, they needed more than a point here because now they are only 1 point up in Atlanta. Atlanta has 3 games in hand. So I know they're trying to make this postseason push, but they didn't really help their cause here, Kalen.
Yeah, I think they needed a little bit more out of this one. So a missed opportunity, and when you have a team like Atlanta on your heels with games in hand, you have to be careful.
Absolutely. Okay, so we talked about the East and Vancouver, first place in the West right now with 45 points, but the West is tight, man. The East is kind of like set. We kind of see what's going on here. The West is different story. Positions 1 through 4, all separated by 1 point. 1 point. Positions 5 through 8, all separated by 1 point, and 1 through 8 are separated by 7 points. So this is crazy. This is going to be nuts to see how this all shakes out. And one of the bigger results, RSL grabs a 2-1 victory over Portland, who is playing well. You mentioned Diego Valeri and all that he has done. I don't know. What are your thoughts on RSL and how their recent form, how they've been doing?
I'm so impressed by them. You know, I think this has been one of the teams for me that has been overlooked, especially over the last several months in MLS. Their form has been excellent, and I really like the personnel that they have. They're getting it done from young guys. Justin Glad in the back has been tremendous, being an enormous figure for them in the back. And then, you know, they get Rusnak with a great goal in this one as well. And then Savarino, the 20-year-old Venezuelan, with a beautiful left-footed curler. It's rare when you see all sub-24-year-olds really dominating and being able to carry the load, especially late in the season as you get close to a playoff push. Now, they have played a couple more games, so they need some results to go their way, but they're putting themselves right in the mix. Petit is doing a good job.
They are. They are above the playoff line for the first time this season. Okay, Kaylin, let's keep it out west. Let's talk about Kansas City, who picked up the big 3-1 win over New England. They went down early in this one after a Teal Bunbury goal, but then Christian Nemeth with the red card. Sporting KC comes charging back. Diego Rubio with a brace. This is his first multi-goal game. They're flying right now. They're gonna make some noise in the West, I think.
Yeah, they've been very strong, and you know, New England not helping themselves with the red card. Christian Nemeth playing against his old squad, I think maybe a bit overexcited and a bit irresponsible. Gets that elbow up high on his old buddy, teammate. Maybe not buddy so much. You know, Graham Susie, who had an excellent game getting forward. And then Gerso, I think, has been the difference for me last year and years prior. Maybe haven't had that extra little bit of piece of energy pushing forward in the attack. He's so dynamic, able to do really well in this one. And then Rubio playing Dom Dwyer light a little bit, getting to that back post, getting him going near the playoffs. And they have a big game this week as well.
Yes, they do. We're going to get to that. We're going to get to that in just a bit. We have one more game to talk about out west. The San Jose Earthquakes beat Houston 1-0. And I gotta, what's going on in Texas? What is going on in Texas right now? Because Houston and Dallas, who started out the season just flying, they are now both sitting below that little playoff line. And we know that Houston has struggled on the road, but yeah, what's going on?
Yeah, huge dip for both of those teams. With Real Salt Lake, they're all on 38 points. Both Texas teams, though, have 2 games in hand, so that helps them. But I think we should probably focus on San Jose, and I have to say I've been completely surprised that they're even in the mix for the playoffs. Chris Leach deserves a lot of respect and credit for what they've been able to do. They haven't been good on the road. They've been getting blown out on the road, but they are able to win at home. I think they've won 4 games under Leach at home, and that's the way it goes in MLS. If you can win your home games, protect home court, you get a chance at the playoffs. They're right in the mix earlier than a lot of people, myself included, thought was possible.
Do you see them? But I've asked you this before, and you said no way the Quakes are making the postseason. This was a few weeks ago. Are you changing your tune a little bit?
I'm feeling less confident in that. The West is so crazy. I have no idea what's happening, but I would love to see San Jose down to the wire on decision day. That would be really fun to watch.
It sure would. Okay, so you mentioned the big game coming up this week. It is the U.S. Open Cup final between Kansas City and the Red Bulls. The Red Bulls coming off a 0-0 draw against Philadelphia. I gotta give a little shout out real quick to Andre Blake, who had 8 saves, 8 ridiculous saves on the day to keep this one scoreless. So this could have been a little different. But the Red Bulls, Jesse March, resting a bunch of his starters in anticipation of this game. I don't know. The Red Bulls? You know, what are you seeing? Are you going to see them grab some hardware finally?
Well,
aside from
the decision to rest, like getting to the decision to rest, I totally agree with this decision from Jesse, and I think he rested about half the starters.
Yeah.
You know, BWP, Sasha, Long, a lot of different guys. It's their first chance for some hardware, you know, in a while, and so. You know, they had a 1 day less rest than Kansas City and have to travel to Kansas City for this match. So they are throwing everything at this game. Pretty much have the playoffs locked up in the 6th spot right now. Wanted to maybe move up in the standings, but when you have a chance at a trophy, it's 1 game for a trophy. You have to go for it, especially when you think of the context of this franchise suffering for so long. It's not guaranteed to make it to MLS Cup. They've been close, haven't been able to get through. So 1 game for a trophy, a Red Bulls fan right now in New York City is going crazy. Can't sleep, nervous, and I think it's going to be a tough one for them. Only because Kansas City having the home field, they're undefeated at home all season long, so they have a tall task at hand.
They sure do. We're not really big into predictions on this show, but how do you think one's going to turn out?
Honestly, my heart, I want the Red Bulls to win. I do. I'm sorry. I have lots of friends. You know, Ike and the whole crew.
Also, this is like, you know, people are saying that we hate the Red Bulls. We don't hate the Red Bulls.
No. I would like to see them get a trophy. I'm saying it right here. So I'll be watching, hoping, you know, Jesse and these guys are able to go out there and get a trophy. But I have to say, if I just think based on what I know about playing in title matches on the road, in an environment like Kansas City, that's a tough place to go and get it done, especially with the back line, the way that Sporting seems to be playing these days. So I'm giving them a slight edge in this.
All right. Well, Caitlin, it's about that time.
What's that?
Let's do that thing.
Let's do it.
Let's do that thing. Hit that button.
Did
you
see that?
Always feels good.
Yeah.
Always feels
Simon
real
in the morning.
Good. Feels real good. Okay, so did you see that? I'm going to give this one to Mr. Abu Danladi. Abu Danladi scored a screamer in the 89th minute in a big 3-2 win against Montreal. This game was great. It was back and forth. There were some great goals. Jamili had a beauty in this one as well. But for Danladi, rookie in this league, to come up big in that 89th minute, and it was a beauty. Well done to him. And also, you know, not a great result for Montreal either.
I feel for my Montrealians.
Yeah.
Those are my people up there. So. Not a good one. It kind of feels like maybe their playoffs are starting to slip away as far as their opportunity there. All right, my turn?
Yep.
Okay.
Did you see that?
All right, I'm going to go to the NYCFC versus Colorado game, which is one of my favorite games to watch this week. Pirlo hit the post on a set piece.
Pirlo.
But I want to give a shout out to Tommy McNamara for scoring a great goal, his 3rd goal of the season.
He scores great goals.
Well, yeah, that's his spot. He's like a 3-point shooter who has a spot on the field. If he gets in that little pocket outside the box, like he is banging that into the upper corner. He's done it with consistency. And then Dominic Baji on the other end, a guy that I've long said has been underrated. If I were a technical director or a GM, which I'm not, I would be trying to trade for this guy.
Are you applying for jobs?
A year ago or 2 years ago. No, I'm cool right here with you. But yeah, he's on 8 goals for the season. I hope he gets to 10. Not a lot of positives for Colorado this year. Him, Marlon Hairston, they've got a good young little core there. But positive for Baji.
I like that. I like you giving some love to the Rapids.
I love the Rapids.
Yes,
Come on.
yes. Great stuff. Guys, that's all we got for you today. Thanks so much for watching. Get in those comments. Like,
that's right.
Subscribe.
The
do
Movement
all of
Atlanta's
that.
coming out this week too.
Oh yeah, and watch our awesome episode of Beat the Pro with Giles Barnes.
Yes.
Who introed
Shout
the show.
out to Giles.
It was really fun.
Still love you,
We've had some good. He likes me more. It's cool. Guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.